Okay, so we're diving into the world of aquaculture today.
Prepping for an Aquaculture Harvesting Manager interview.
We've got all RoleCatcher
Career
resources,
guides.
interview guides, the whole thing.
Yeah, we're going to do a deep dive into how to ace this interview.
Must-knows to help you really stand out.
We'll break down those typical
And
questions
give you some insider strategies.
on how to answer them and sprinkle in some of those career insights.
From the guides.
Really help you stand out from all those other candidates.
Plus, we'll touch on how RoleCatcher's AI
Can be your secret weapon,
in this whole process.
especially for tailoring your answers.
And getting that extra edge.
Yeah, think of this as your crash course.
An Aquaculture Harvesting Manager interview success.
Ready to dive in?
I am. Let's go for it.
Yeah.
All right, let's get started.
So first things first.
Let's paint a picture of what this role actually entails.
Yeah, what does it actually look like?
We're not just talking about fishing here.
Right.
An Aquaculture Harvesting Manager oversees that entire process of harvesting, the whole thing.
Think efficiency and sustainability.
You.
Working with live animals.
Oh, yeah.
The elements coordinating a whole operation.
It's a lot.
It's not a desk job.
Definitely not.
So if you love marine life and a bit of adventure,
Sounds right up my alley.
this could be the perfect fit.
Okay, so let's get to the heart of it then.
The interview questions
These come straight from RoleCatcher's interview guide.
for aquaculture harvesting managers.
Awesome.
And remember,
Yeah.
you can use RoleCatcher's AI to tailor your answers
I love that.
to specific job roles and get feedback. It's like having an expert coach in your pocket,
Oh, that's amazing.
helping you refine your responses and really hit the mark.
Really hit the mark. Okay, so first question they might throw at you.
Can you describe your experience with managing a team in aquaculture harvesting?
Okay, so what are they really getting at with this one?
It's all about leadership.
Makes sense.
They want to know if you can manage people, but more specifically, within that very unique environment of aquaculture harvesting. Can you motivate your team, delegate, effectively handle conflicts?
All within this demanding context.
Exactly.
So instead of just listing off every team you've ever managed.
Exactly. Focus on specific situations that truly highlight your leadership skills.
Okay.
Think about a time when you had to motivate your team to meet a tight deadline.
Okay.
Maybe a big order came in right before a holiday,
Oh, yeah, that's stressful.
or a time when you had to resolve a conflict between team members.
Happens all the time.
Perhaps there were disagreements on harvesting techniques.
Yeah.
How did you handle those situations and what did you learn from them?
Really good point. So let's say some equipment malfunctioned right before a harvest.
Ooh, high pressure situation.
Yes. How would you spin that to showcase your leadership skills?
Great example.
Yeah.
You could explain how you quickly assess the situation for delegated tasks to get the equipment back online.
Okay.
Maybe someone's great with mechanics. Another person can update the processing plan about the potential delay. You could even talk about how you kept your team calm and focused amidst all the pressure.
So it sounds like staying cool under pressure is a big part of this role.
Absolutely. And this actually ties into a key career insight from the RoleCatcher guide.
Okay.
Did you know that the job market for aquaculture harvesting managers is projected to grow steadily?
Really? That's great news.
But that also means competition could be fierce.
So how can you make yourself stand out from those other candidates?
By showcasing not just your competence,
Right.
but also your composure and ability to handle those high-pressure moments.
Yeah.
It's about thinking on your feet and leading by example.
Okay. Makes sense. Moving on to the next question.
Yeah.
How do you ensure that all harvest activities are compliant with government regulations?
Oh, yeah.
I imagine there are a lot of those when you're dealing with food production.
Absolutely. And this question is all about demonstrating that you not only know the rules,
Right.
but you take them seriously. The interviewer wants to be confident that you're on top of those regulations and that you'll keep the operation running smoothly.
So should you just rattle off a list of every regulation you can think of?
Well, it's good to be familiar with them, of course,
Yeah.
but it's more about showing how you apply that knowledge in the real world.
Okay.
Describe your process for ensuring compliance.
Got it.
Maybe you have a system for staying up to date with the latest regulations.
Smart.
Perhaps you've even developed training for your team.
Good idea.
The key is to demonstrate your proactive approach.
Okay, so what are some common traps that people fall into with this question?
Being too vague.
Like what?
Saying something like, I always make sure we follow the rules.
Right.
Doesn't really tell them anything.
Fair enough.
Instead, get specific.
Yeah.
Give examples.
I like it.
Maybe you developed a new training program for your team on updated safety protocols or streamlined a process to make it more efficient and compliant.
So it's not just about knowing the rules. It's about putting them into action effectively.
Precisely. And, you know, the RoleCatcher Guide highlights a crucial point.
Okay.
Continuous learning is key in this field.
For sure.
New regulations are always popping up. Best practices are constantly evolving.
So how can you demonstrate that you're committed to staying ahead of the curve?
You could mention any certifications you have,
Good idea.
any professional development courses you've taken.
It's smart.
It shows that you're not just compliant now, but you're dedicated to staying informed and adaptable. And if you're looking to boost your credentials,
Oh, yeah.
RoleCatcher has a whole section on certifications specifically for aquaculture harvesting managers.
All right, good to know. Let's tackle the next one. Can you describe your experience with inventory management in aquaculture harvesting?
Okay.
This one seems pretty straightforward, right?
It might seem that way,
Yeah.
but it's more than just counting fish.
Okay, more than just counting fish. So what are they really looking for here?
It boils down to organization, attention to detail, and efficiency.
All important things.
Remember, you're working with live animals. So accurate inventory management is essential for everything from feeding schedules to, of course, harvest planning.
Makes sense.
A good answer will demonstrate your understanding of inventory systems and your ability to adapt those systems to the unique challenges of aquaculture.
So, okay, what if someone doesn't have a ton of experience with inventory management specific to aquaculture? How should they approach this question?
Honesty is always the best policy.
Right.
If you don't have extensive hands-on experience in this area,
Right.
focus on those transferable skills you do have.
Right.
Maybe you've managed inventory in a different industry, or perhaps you've taken courses on supply chain management or logistics.
Yeah, those would be helpful.
Highlight those experiences and emphasize your eagerness to learn and adapt to new systems.
Show that you're willing to learn, and I'm guessing this is another area where RoleCatcher's AI could be super helpful.
Absolutely.
Thought so.
The AI can analyze the job description and help you tailor your response to highlight the specific inventory systems they're looking for. It's all about speaking their language.
I love that. Okay, let's dive into the next question. How do you ensure that all harvested fish meet quality standards? Now, this one seems pretty important, especially when we're talking about food safety.
You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
Here, they're looking for your knowledge of the industry and your commitment to maintaining those high standards.
Important.
It's about understanding the whole journey of the fish from the moment they're harvested to when they reach the consumer's plate.
Yeah, so what kind of systems are we talking about here? What are some concrete steps to ensure quality?
It could be anything from monitoring water quality
Yeah.
to using proper handling techniques, implementing strict grading procedures, ensuring proper storage and transportation.
That's a lot.
Think about specific examples where you've gone above and beyond.
Okay.
Maybe you implemented a new tracking system to monitor fish health,
Good example.
or developed a training program for your team on proper handling techniques.
Yeah, that would definitely show that you're, committed to quality. So it's about being proactive and showing that you're passionate about delivering a high-quality product.
Exactly, and this ties back to what we were saying earlier about that growing job market.
Right.
While there are opportunities, competition is also increasing.
Oh, for sure.
By demonstrating your commitment to quality,
Yeah.
you're setting yourself apart as someone who takes pride in their work and understands the importance of meeting those industry standards.
Okay, on to the next question. How do you ensure that all harvest activities are conducted in a safe and efficient manner? This one seems like a two-parter hitting both safety and productivity.
It is.
Yeah.
And it's all about showcasing your operational expertise.
Okay.
They want to see that you can get the job done and get it done well while prioritizing the safety of your team and the efficiency of the operation.
So how can you effectively highlight your skills in both areas?
Think about the specific challenges of an aquaculture harvesting environment.
Okay.
You're working with heavy equipment, potentially in challenging weather conditions and often under tight deadlines. A strong answer will showcase your ability to plan, organize, and execute harvests in a way that minimizes risks while maximizing productivity.
Okay, can you give me a concrete example? Let's say you've implemented new safety protocols in the past. How would you weave that into your answer?
That's a great example.
Yeah.
You could talk about how you identified a safety gap.
Oh?
Maybe there was a near-miss incident that highlighted a potential risk.
Oh, yeah?
Then you could explain how you researched best practices,
Okay.
developed new protocols, and trained your team on those protocols.
Yeah.
You could even mention a reduction in accidents or near misses as a quantifiable result.
So you can actually like put numbers to it.
Yes.
And what about the efficiency side of things? What kind of examples would really impress them?
Think about times when you've streamlined processes,
Okay.
optimized workflows, or maybe even implemented new technologies to improve efficiency.
Ooh, technologies. That's good.
Perhaps you introduced a new harvesting technique that reduced harvest time.
Wow.
Or implemented a digital inventory system that streamlined tracking and reporting.
Very cool.
It's about showing them that you're always looking for ways to do things better and smarter.
And that ties back to the idea of continuous improvement and staying ahead of the curve in this industry, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's about showcasing not just your current skills, but also your potential for growth and your commitment to staying at the forefront of the field.
Okay, let's move on to a question that's a little more people-focused. Can you describe a time when you had to resolve a conflict with a team member or stakeholder? Conflict is bound to happen in any workplace, right?
It's inevitable.
Yeah.
And this question is all about assessing your interpersonal skills and your ability to handle those difficult situations.
Okay.
They want to see that you can stay calm under pressure, listen to different perspectives, and find solutions that work for everyone involved.
So what are they really looking for in your answer?
They want to see that you can navigate conflicts effectively,
Okay.
that you can communicate clearly and respectfully, and that you can ultimately find a resolution that addresses the root cause of the problem.
Yeah, so it's not just about saying I'm a great mediator.
Right. Definitely not. Remember, concrete examples are key.
Okay.
Think about a specific conflict you've encountered, ideally one that's relevant to the aquaculture industry.
Okay.
Maybe there was a disagreement between a team member who wanted to stick with traditional harvesting methods
Uh-huh.
and a stakeholder who was pushing for a more innovative, data-driven approach.
Okay, that's a good example.
Yeah.
How could you use that to really showcase your conflict resolution skills?
You could talk about how you facilitated a conversation between the two parties,
Okay.
encouraging them to listen to each other's perspectives.
Yeah.
Did you find common ground? Maybe you incorporated elements of both approaches.
Okay.
Or developed a pilot program to test the new method.
Smart.
The key is to highlight how your conflict resolution skills led to a positive outcome for everyone involved.
So it's about finding that win-win solution,
Yeah.
even when people have differing opinions or approaches.
Precisely. And, this question actually highlights an interesting aspect of the Aquaculture Harvesting Manager role.
Okay, what's that?
It's not just about managing the technical aspects of harvesting,
Right.
but also about managing the people involved.
Yeah, it's a leadership role in every sense of the word.
Yeah.
Okay, we've got time for one more question before we move on.
Okay.
What about this one? How do you ensure that all harvest activities are conducted in an environmentally sustainable manner? Sustainability is a hot topic these days, especially in industries like aquaculture.
It is, and this question is designed to gauge your understanding of environmental responsibility and your commitment to minimizing the impact of harvesting operations.
Yeah, it's a big deal.
It's a chance to show that you're not just focused on production,
Right.
but also on the long-term health of the ecosystem.
The bigger picture. So it's not just about saying I care about the environment, right?
Mm-hmm.
What are they really looking for here?
They want to see that you have a deep understanding of the environmental challenges facing the aquaculture industry, and that you have practical experience implementing sustainable practices.
So can you give me some examples of those sustainable practices?
It could be anything from minimizing waste and pollution to conserving water and energy to protecting biodiversity.
Okay.
Think about the specific initiatives you've implemented in the past.
Right.
Maybe you introduced a recycling program for harvesting equipment,
Okay.
or you developed a strategy to reduce the farm's carbon footprint.
Those are good ones.
Yeah.
So it's about showing them that you're not just following the rules,
Yeah.
but that you're actively seeking out ways to minimize your environmental impact.
Exactly. And, this ties back to something we discussed earlier about continuous learning.
Right.
The field of sustainable aquaculture is constantly evolving
Yeah.
with new technologies and practices emerging all the time. So how can you demonstrate that you're not just following the current best practices,
Right.
but also looking ahead and proactively seeking out ways to further minimize your environmental impact?
Maybe by mentioning your involvement in industry groups focused on sustainability,
Yes.
or talking about research you've been following on new eco-friendly technologies.
That's a great point.
Yeah.
It's all about showing them that you're passionate about sustainability and that you're committed to staying at the forefront of this rapidly evolving field.
Okay. I think we've covered a lot of ground here. We've talked about leadership compliance, inventory management, quality control, safety efficiency, conflict resolution, and even sustainability. I'm feeling pretty well equipped to tackle those interview questions now.
Me too, and we're not done yet.
There's more.
We still have more questions to unpack.
Oh, great.
More insights to share.
Awesome.
And we'll definitely dive deeper into how RoleCatcher's AI can be your secret weapon in this whole process.
I'm excited to hear more. Let's take a short break, and we'll come back with even more tips and strategies to help you ace that Aquaculture Harvesting Manager interview. Hashtag TTS, the Deep Dive Episode 2024-1023, Part 2 of 3.
All right, let's jump back into those interview questions.
Back into it.
This next one really gets to the heart of the Aquaculture Harvesting Manager role. How do you balance the need for efficiency with the importance of animal welfare in harvesting operations?
Ooh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
It's not just about getting the job done quickly. It's about doing it ethically and responsibly, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
They want to see that you understand that efficiency and animal welfare aren't mutually exclusive. In fact, they often go hand in hand.
I like that. So where do you even begin to answer a question like that? It seems pretty nuanced.
I'd start by acknowledging the importance of both
Okay.
efficiency and animal welfare. You could say something like,
Yeah.
I believe that when we prioritize the well-being of the organisms, we often see improvements in efficiency as well.
I like that.
Then back that up with concrete examples.
Okay, so what kind of examples would really resonate with the interviewer?
Think about specific practices you've implemented that demonstrate this balance.
Okay.
Maybe you've introduced low-stress handling techniques to minimize stress on the fish during harvest. Or perhaps you've invested in equipment that improves the speed and accuracy of grading, which reduces handling time and ultimately improves fish welfare.
So it's about finding those win-win solutions that benefit both the operation and the animals.
Precisely. And, this ties back to what the RoleCatcher Guide mentions about the importance of specialized knowledge in this field.
Okay.
They highlight certifications like the Aquaculture Stewardship Council, ASC certification, which focuses on responsible aquaculture practices.
For having those certifications could really give you an edge in the interview.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It demonstrates your commitment to both productivity and sustainability, which are crucial in this role.
All right, on to the next question. Can you describe a time when you had to implement a new technology or process related to aquaculture harvesting?
It sounds like they're looking for someone who's innovative and adaptable.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The aquaculture industry is constantly evolving with new technologies and approaches emerging all the time.
They want to see that you're not afraid to embrace change and that you can effectively implement those new things.
But what if you haven't had a ton of experience implementing brand new technologies? What if you've been working in a more traditional setting?
It's still about highlighting your ability to learn and adapt.
Yeah.
Even if you haven't spearheaded a major tech overhaul, you've likely had to adapt to new software equipment or procedures at some point.
Yeah, that's true.
Focus on those experiences and explain how you approached the learning process, collaborated with your team, and overcame any challenges.
Okay, so let's say you were tasked with implementing a new digital inventory system.
Okay.
How could you use that experience to showcase your adaptability?
Great question. You could talk about how you researched different systems,
Okay.
evaluated their pros and cons, and selected the best fit for your operation.
I'm sorry.
Then you could discuss how you managed the implementation process. Maybe you provided training for your team or created some helpful documentation. The key is to highlight your ability to learn, adapt, and lead your team through change.
And of course, it's always helpful to emphasize the positive outcomes of that implementation.
For sure.
Did the new system improve efficiency, reduce errors, anything quantifiable that demonstrates the value you brought?
Exactly. And speaking of value, let's talk about another aspect of this role that the RoleCatcher Guide emphasizes.
Okay, what's that?
Problem solving.
Of course.
They highlight the fact that aquaculture harvesting managers are often faced with unexpected challenges.
Right.
Equipment, malfunctions, weather events.
Oh, yeah.
Even fluctuations in market demand.
That's a lot.
So how can you demonstrate your problem-solving skills in the interview?
Oh, how you...
It goes back to those concrete examples.
Makes sense.
Think about a time when you faced a significant challenge
Okay.
and had to come up with a creative solution.
Right.
Walk the interviewer through your thought process. How did you identify the problem?
Yeah.
What options did you consider?
Okay.
How did you make the final decision?
That's important.
And most importantly, what was the outcome?
Right. It's about showing them that you can think critically and strategically even under pressure.
Right. And this leads us nicely into our next question,
Okay.
which is all about communication.
Mm-hmm.
How do you communicate with stakeholders such as regulatory agencies, customers, and the local community regarding harvesting operations?
This is interesting because it highlights the fact that an aquaculture harvesting manager doesn't work in isolation.
True.
You're constantly interacting with different groups of people, and effective communication is crucial.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
This question is about showcasing your ability to tailor your communication style to different audiences,
Okay.
whether it's explaining technical data to a regulatory agency, addressing community concerns about environmental impact, or assuring customers of the quality and sustainability of your product.
It sounds like a lot of juggling.
Yeah.
How can you show them that you're up to the task?
Again, concrete examples are your friend.
Okay.
Think about specific situations where you've had to communicate effectively with different stakeholders. Maybe you had to address concerns from the local community about the potential impact of harvesting operations on water quality.
That's a scenario that could definitely come up. How would you handle a situation like that?
You could talk about how you proactively reached out to community leaders,
Okay.
organized a town hall meeting, and presented information about the farm's environmental practices in a clear and understandable way.
Good idea.
You could then discuss how you listened to their concerns, addressed their questions, and worked collaboratively to find solutions that worked for everyone.
So it's not just about talking at people.
Nope.
It's about engaging in a genuine dialogue and finding common ground.
Exactly. And, the RoleCatcher Guide emphasizes the importance of building strong relationships with stakeholders.
Yeah, that makes sense.
They highlight the fact that trust and transparency are essential for a successful aquaculture operation.
Okay, moving on to the next question, which is all about team dynamics. How do you motivate your team to achieve production goals while maintaining a positive and supportive work environment? This seems like a balancing act.
It is.
Yeah.
They want to see that you understand the importance of creating a work environment where people feel valued, respected, and motivated to do their best.
So it's not just about setting targets and expecting people to hit them.
Mm-hmm.
What are some strategies for creating that positive and supportive environment?
Think about how you foster open communication and feedback.
Yeah.
Do you encourage your team to share ideas and voice concerns?
Important.
Do you recognize and celebrate successes, both individual and team accomplishments?
People love that.
Do you provide opportunities for professional development and growth?
All good things. So it's about empowering your team and giving them the tools and support they need to thrive.
Exactly. And, the RoleCatcher Guide highlights the fact that leadership skills are highly valued in aquaculture harvesting managers.
Oh, that makes sense.
They're not just managing processes, they're managing people, and that requires strong leadership.
All right, let's tackle this next question, which focuses on staying ahead of the game. How do you stay informed about new developments and best practices in aquaculture? Harvesting. This seems crucial in any industry that's constantly evolving.
Absolutely. This is your chance to showcase your passion for the field and your commitment to continuous learning.
So it's not just about name-dropping a few industry journals you subscribe to. What kind of depth are they looking for here?
They want to see that you're actively engaged in professional development and that you're genuinely interested in staying at the forefront of the field. Do you attend industry conferences and workshops?
No.
Are you a member of professional organizations? Do you network with other professionals and seek out mentors?
Yeah, all good things. So it's about showing them that you're not content with just doing the bare minimum. You're driven to learn and grow.
Precisely. And remember, this ties back to what we discussed earlier about the competitive job market. By demonstrating your commitment to professional development, you're setting yourself apart as someone who's invested in their career and eager to contribute to the advancement of the field.
Okay, we've covered a lot of ground here with these questions. It's clear that the Aquaculture Harvesting Manager role requires a diverse skill set, leadership, communication, technical expertise, a passion for sustainability, and a commitment to continuous learning.
Absolutely. It's a challenging role, but also incredibly rewarding.
Very rewarding.
And remember, we're not done yet.
Ooh, there's more.
We still have more to unpack, including how RoleCatcher can help you tailor your answers and really shine in that interview.
That's right. Let's take a quick pause and we'll come right back to dive deeper into those AI-powered tools and how they can give you that extra edge. Hashtag TTS, the Deep Dive episode 2024-1023, part 3 of 3. Okay, we're back and ready to explore how RoleCatcher can really help you nail that Aquaculture Harvesting Manager interview.
Yes.
We talked about AI and its ability to help you tailor your answers.
Right.
But how does that actually work?
Well, it's pretty amazing, actually.
Just me.
The AI analyzes that specific job description you're targeting,
Okay.
and it identifies the keywords and skills that are most important to that employer.
Ooh, that's smart.
Then it helps you weave those keywords and skills into your answers, making sure you're speaking their language
I see.
and highlighting the experiences that matter most to them.
So it's not just about having great answers, it's about having the right answers for that specific role.
Exactly. It's like having a personalized cheat sheet
Love it.
that ensures your responses are perfectly aligned with what the hiring manager is looking for.
And it's not just about content, right?
No.
RoleCatcher's AI feedback feature takes it a step further.
Yes.
We touched on this earlier,
Uh-huh.
but I'm curious to hear more. How does this AI feedback actually work?
Okay, well, imagine having an interview coach who can analyze not just what you say,
Right.
but how you say it.
Okay.
That's what this feature does. You can practice your answers out loud, record yourself using the platform, and then get personalized feedback from the AI.
Wow, so it's like having a virtual mock interview
Yes.
with an expert
Exactly.
who can pinpoint areas for improvement. So what kind of feedback does it provide?
It analyzes your tone of voice,
Okay.
your pace, even things like pauses and filler words.
Oh, wow.
It can tell you if you're speaking too quickly,
Yeah.
if your tone is monotone, or if you're using too many ums and ahs.
All the things that we do.
Exactly. It even picks up on things like your energy level and enthusiasm.
That's amazing. It's like having a personal coach
Right.
who can help you refine your delivery
Yes.
and make sure you're coming across as confident,
Yes.
engaging,
Yeah.
and authentic.
Exactly. And the best part is you can practice as much as you need to get that feedback and keep refining those answers until you feel completely comfortable and ready to knock it out of the park in the real interview.
I love that. Okay, so we've covered the interview questions. We've talked about RoleCatcher's incredible AI-powered tools.
Yes.
And we've even woven in some really valuable career insights from those RoleCatcher guides.
We have.
I feel like our listener is well-equipped to rock that Aquaculture Harvesting Manager interview.
I agree, but before we wrap things up, I want to leave you with one final thought.
Right.
Remember, this interview is not just about proving your qualifications.
Okay.
It's about showcasing your passion for the field, your commitment to sustainability,
Yeah.
and your enthusiasm for the future of aquaculture.
That's such an important point.
Yes.
Skills and experience are essential,
Uh-huh.
but passion and enthusiasm can truly set you apart.
Absolutely. So take a deep breath, believe in yourself, and let your passion shine through. You've got this.
That's great advice. So to you
Yeah.
listening, this deep dive has hopefully given you a really solid foundation, but the real work begins now.
Yes, it does.
Think about those specific situations from your own experience. Practice your answers with RoleCatcher's AI feedback and go into that interview with confidence. The world of aquaculture is waiting, and with the right preparation, you can make a real splash.
And remember, continuous learning is key in this field. Never stop exploring, never stop growing, and never stop being curious about the amazing world of aquaculture.
That's beautifully said. All right, that wraps up our deep dive into the Aquaculture Harvesting Manager interview. We wish you the best of luck in your interview journey.